Of our project was to essentially take this NID byproduct and then implement it into a various number of cementitious applications. And the design objective was to design a series of experiments that we could test these cementitious applications. So we chose concrete, mortar, grout, and CLSM, which is controlled low strength material, which is like a flowable fill. And from that we were able to test both compressive strength as well as environmental leaching and kind of quantify the results from that.
There's not a whole lot of research already produced and available about this NID byproduct to use, so a lot of times we didn't know what's out there, how other people are testing this byproduct, and we were kind of pioneers in the research of this byproduct.
In the event that a similar material is identified to the NID byproduct that we tested, a company or individual in the future would be able to take our work and already have the physical experiments determined, the environmental experiments determined, and particularly the modifications to the standard EPA tests. Additionally, they'd be able to take the results from those tests, put them through our optimization charts, and be able to read whether or not that material is usable in that application.
That we were able to implement this NID byproduct, and from that we're going to have more data. The only data that was collected on this NID byproduct was from the previous senior design team, so just having more information and kind of knowing what this byproduct does in different cementitious applications is definitely going to be a big benefit for the client.
One positive outcome for me myself was being trained to do all the safety and the TCLP procedure in the lab, because it will look really good on a resume doing something that other people weren't trained to do.
Working with a team has been nice. I really enjoyed my teammates, Stephen, Hannah, Jonathan, Blake. I worked pretty closely with Stephen in the lab most of the time, and we pretty well had a good working relationship. I also, just working in the labs, learning some of the lab tests, we were kind of forced to pick apart the ASTMs and learn the lab tests, and that's something I feel like I'd be able to use moving forward in my career.
It was a bunch of people that I did not know previously. Sometimes I know some groups you usually kind of get to pick and choose who you get to know, and this group I really didn't know anybody, and we've grown as a group throughout, and then just also kind of each submission we've gotten more and more kind of positive feedback on that we are moving in the right direction on this project.
I think coming into the senior design course, your background in engineering is entirely academic, where you're given a problem and you're given the resources to solve the problem, and perhaps you're even walked through an example problem. And so you do the same thing, you turn it in, and you're done. Senior design, you're given a problem and you're not left to your own to figure out how to solve the problem, but you have to take some personal initiative to find not only the answers, but to find the equations or to find the processes by which you'll answer those questions. The course is much less dependent on a textbook, no textbook, but rather on resourcing your peers and particularly your mentors, which is not something that's done perhaps in a traditional classroom setting.
Overall, the course was, there was a lot of times when you were just completely stressed out and you were completely miserable and you wanted it to be over, but at the end, when you look at it, you kind of think about how much fun you actually had getting to know your team and hanging out with your team, and really you kind of forget all those bad points and you remember the good times.
My biggest piece of advice would probably be to not spin your wheels in the beginning of the semester. Things can really snowball fairly quickly as far as getting work done. I would suggest starting as early as possible, maybe the first week, second week at the latest.
Come from a background with 10 years in civil engineering consulting, I think the utilization of a senior design class by a municipality or anybody with an idea for a project is a great opportunity for both entities. I think it gives the students who will ultimately be working for the community the opportunity to work on real-life projects, deal with real-life owners and vendors, and it gives perhaps the owner of the municipality the opportunity to get a preliminary design and to assist in the educational process, which ultimately will produce a product, the engineers that they will be relying on in the future.